This conference will now be recorded.
As I mentioned, right, we have completed the installation. After installation, this kind of ready to use site we get it, or this kind of ready-made site we get it, or this kind of sample site we get it. Now let's say, take a scenario. I am telling that okay, Reliance Digital is developed using SAP Commerce, Spartacus developed using SAP Commerce, and so on, so on, so right. Now let's say you are attending some call, or let's say you are attending some call, and you someone asked the question, what are you? Someone asked the question, what are you? Then your answer is what? I am working as a commerce developer. Someone is asking a question, what are you? And you are mentioning, I am working as a SAP Commerce consultant, SAP Commerce consultant for Nike client or Reliance client or whatever it may be. Reliance or whatever it may be. So I am working as a SAP Commerce consultant for Nike client or Reliance client or whatever it may be. Now they may ask the question, is that live? Is that live? If we say yes, then they may ask the URL. Then they may ask the URL. From URL, we can find if it's developed using SAP Commerce or not. From the URL, they can find out whether it is developed using SAP Commerce or not. Let's recap quickly once. So let's say someone is asking the question, what are you? And you are answering, I am working as a SAP Commerce consultant for Reliance client or Nike client or some other client. Then they may ask the question, is that live? So if you say yes, then they may ask the URL. From the URL, we can find out whether it is a SAP Commerce developed or not, and so on, so on, so therefore now the scenario is, okay, how to find the site is developed using SAP Commerce or not. For that, there are different scenarios here. So let's see the solution one. Let's see the solution one. This is also kind of a certification question for the functional people. This is also a certification question for the functional people. What is the solution one? Solution one is, if you go to the category page URLs, if you see the category page URLs, which will ends with /c/category number or /c/category name. If you see this kind of behavior, then it is developed using SAP Commerce. Okay, category page URLs ends with first one is what? /c/category number, or second one is what? /c/category name. Both are correct. For example, you can see here, this is ending with the /c/category name. And if I go here, this is ending with the /c/category number. So this is the category number and this is the category name. So both combinations are possible. Both combinations are possible. If you are seeing this kind of behavior, then it is SAP Commerce. Now let's see whether we have in the Reliance site. This is the Reliance site. Now I will go on to click on some category. So let's say I will go to mobiles or televisions and I click on 32 inches something. Now you can see this is one of the category which is having the category number. So if you see this kind of behavior, then it is developed using SAP Commerce. This is the solution one. Next, solution two. Next, solution two. What is the solution two? Try to observe the product page URLs. Product page URLs ends with first one /p/product number. Second one /p/product name. Both are correct. So let's see the OOTB out of the box. So this is a product. I click on this particular product. Now observe the URL. If I observe the URL, then you can see /p/product number is there. So if you see /p/product number, then it is SAP Commerce. So this is the out of the box URL. What is the meaning of out of the box? We get it after installation. We get it after installation. Now let's observe the Reliance site. Now let's observe the Reliance site, whether we have this behavior or not. So I will go to the Reliance site and I click on one of the product. Okay, I will click on one of the product. Now you can see this is the product page. Now if I see the URL, do you see that behavior? In the Reliance website, do you see that behavior?
Yes, Chenna.
Yes. So that means it is the SAP Commerce developed. So therefore, if at all you are, if someone asks the question, what are you? And you are saying that I am working as a SAP Commerce consultant for Nike client or Reliance client like that, they may ask the, is that live? If you say yes, based on the URL, they may ask the URL. From the URL, they can find out whether it is developed using SAP Commerce or not. So therefore, now the scenario is how to find a site is developed using SAP Commerce or not. For that, this is the first scenario. In the our solution one is what? Category page URL sends with /c/category number /c/category name. Product page URL sends with /p/product number /p/product name. That is what you can see in the out of the box as well as in the Reliance side. That is what you can see in the out of the box and Reliance side. That's it. Now note. What is the note? Okay, so note is some companies. Okay, some companies override this behavior. Override this behavior. What is the meaning of this behavior? This /c/category number, okay, /c/category number or /p/product number. Some companies override this behavior. For what? For what? For what? SEO, for SEO purpose. For what purpose? So the answer is SEO. What is the meaning of SEO? What is the meaning of SEO?
Optimization.
Optimization.
Search engine.
Please understand clearly. I said this is the behavior. This is the OOTB behavior. Now some companies override this behavior. Santosh, please be unmute. Santosh Kumar. Thank you. Now the situation is some companies override this behavior. When I say this behavior, this /c/category number /p/category number and so on, so on. So for what purpose? SEO purpose. Example, let's see the example site. Okay, example, OCM.com is developed using SAP Commerce. There are so many sites here. It's not just one site. OCM.com, this is also developed using SAP Commerce. This is also developed using SAP Commerce. Now I will go here, click on some category. I go on here, click on some category. Let's say bedding something. Do you see /c/category number here?
No.
No. Okay. Next, let me go to the product page. So this is the category page. I don't have it. Now I will go to the product page. Now this is the product page. You don't find that /c/p/product number. So you can see this is the URL. See, these are all query parameters here. Don't worry about the query parameters. Okay, after question mark, whatever you have, those are called query parameters. After question mark, whatever you have, those are all called query parameters. Now, if you observe the actual URL, you are not finding that /p/product number behavior /c/category number behavior, which is okay. So that's why I'm telling some companies override this behavior /c/category number /p/product number for what purpose? SEO purpose. So what is the SEO? Search engine optimization. So we have set up the guidelines. We have the set up the guidelines for SEO purpose. For SEO purpose means one of the guideline is, okay, one of the guideline is, you can say guideline or rule, whatever it is, or feature. SEO features, guidelines, rules. Okay, So one of the guideline is make URLs SEO friendly. Make URLs SEO friendly. So what does that mean? Make URLs SEO friendly. What does that mean? Let me explain. Let's take one example and understand. As per the OOTB, we have /p/product number. Now in the URL, do you think that anyone will search the product like this? Do you think that anyone will search the product like this? Let's go to the Reliance site once. Let's go to the Reliance site once. Let me go to the Reliance site. Let's say I go here and click on some product. This is the product number. Do you think that anyone will search like this /p/product number in the search engines?
No.
Very rare situations. So very rare situations. See, if they search like this, can you observe? It is getting exact link for you. That is the SEO purpose. What is the meaning of SEO? What is the meaning of SEO? Search engine optimization. That means how you can show your products in the search engine results. How you can show the products in the search engine results. If anyone search /p/product number, you can see you are getting only one result, which is exact match, which is perfect actually, which is perfect for finding purpose. But how many people remember this product number? Very less people. Very less people. That's why searching with the /p/product number, how customers knows, okay, your technology expert is /p. How customers knows, let's say you are a customer, how do you know that your technology is expecting /p and you need to search /p in the Google? That is difficult. So instead of that, there is a possibility that people can use, this is what a temper glass something, right? So people can use a temper glass for iPad, iPhone, like that. So instead of that, if I give some name here, okay, temper glass something, then it is easy for the people to search it. It is easy for the people to search it. And so on, so on. So that's why I'm saying, okay, so we have, for SEO purpose, some of the companies override this behavior. We have set up the guidelines for SEO purpose. One of the guidelines is make URLs SEO friendly. Make URLs SEO friendly means what? /p/product number. Who will search? No one will search in the Google like this. But if they search it, that is excellent. If anyone search it like that, it is excellent because it is exactly giving one match, which is perfectly showing your product. That means you achieved your object, or you achieved your objective. Okay, so but this is rare situation. People may search something like a temper glass, like that. Okay, people may search temper glass like that. So that's why it is better to have the URL, this kind of sentences. You can see here how we have in the OCM site. In the OCM site, so this is how we have. So all are words: premium, college, twin, Excel, comfortable, something like that. All are, most of the things words are there. Generally, customers uses the words for searching purpose. Customers uses the words for searching purpose. Now you can ask a question: why SEO is important? Why SEO is important? Why I need to do this overriding all these things? Why SEO? See, I told you some of the companies override this behavior. Override this behavior means what? They write the code, they spend the money, and so on, so on. And I shown you some scenario why they need to override it. Fine. Why SEO is important? First of all, anyone? Why SEO is important?
To show the product in higher rankings.
Okay. So there is one survey here. There is one survey. This is the excellent survey. This is the excellent survey because if at all you are working for a client and if client is asking, oh, why I need to spend the money for SEO, then this is the simplest answer for your client. Now I'm asking the question, let's say there are 100 people who is buying iPhones today or Samsung TV today. There are 100 people who is buying Samsung TV today. Samsung TV today. Now the question is, how many people really go to Samsung site and buy it? And how many people start looking their product from the Google or search engines? How many people really start looking their product from Google, from search engines, from search, let's say Google? Can you guess what is the number? Let's say 100 people trying to, or 100 people buying the Samsung TVs today. Out of the 100 people, how many people really go to the Samsung site and buy it? How many people start looking their product from the Google search engines? That is nothing but the Google.
90% for the second one.
Very good. So first answer is around 7% of the people really go to the actual websites. Second one is around 93% of the people go to the search engines to start looking their product. So that means, look at your place. Let's say I go to the google.com. I want the Samsung TV, right? So I will type Samsung 55-inch TV like that. I search. See, from here, if I am going to Samsung site, that is different. Let's say from here I am going to Samsung site. Are you going to give the count for Google or you will give the Samsung count for the Samsung site?
Google.
So I asked the two questions, right? How many people directly go to the Samsung site? How many people start looking their product from the Google? So let's say I type Samsung TV 55 inches. Now here it is showing the Samsung link. You can see here. This is showing from Samsung website. This is showing from Samsung website. Now let's say I go here and click this and buy it. Are you going to give the count for this? Are you going to give the count for this?
For Google.
Yes, Google, because your lead is coming from the Google. Your lead is coming from the Google. No one has hit that Samsung.com and buying it. Now you can see it is showing Best Buy, Walmart, Samsung, like that, so on and so on. So therefore, if you see, if there are 100 people buying the products from products, then only 7% of the people directly coming to your website, and 93%, around 93% of the people start looking the product from the Google. That's why it is important. That's why this is a very excellent conclusion here. That's why it is important to show our products in Google or to show our products in search engine results. Search engine results. Okay, this is one survey. Next, it is important for us to show our results in search engine, show our products in search engine results. To show our products in search engine results, definitely you need to follow that guidelines. Definitely you need to follow that guidelines. Some companies follow, some companies don't follow, depends upon their business type. That is a different story. That is a different story. But generally these are the rules. Now second point is it is important, if you see here, it is important to show our products in search results. That is fine. Now, is it important for you to show your results in the top or not? Is it important?
Yes, it
Important for you to just, if you see the search results, this is one result, this is one result, this is one result, and you can see there are so many results. And you can see there are so many results. Now, when there are so many results, is it important for you to show your products in the top results or just in the results?
The top results.
Yes, that is also, I will tell you why. So it is also, please understand these statements. It is also important for us to show the products in top search results. Why? For this also there is a nice survey. For this also there is a nice survey. Here I mentioned it is important for us to show the results or show our products in the search results. For that I mentioned why. Second one is it is also important for us to show in the top search results. Why top search results? There is one more nice survey for it. The survey is, this survey is done almost 20 years back. This survey is done almost 20 years back. What the survey says is that in the internet, data is double almost every 20 months. Almost every 20 months. This is one excellent survey here. What I am trying to say that in the internet, data is double almost every 20 months. What does that mean? To understand in the easiest way, let's say I go here and type learn SAP Commerce Cloud. Now let's say I'm getting 10 links or 10 GB data. In the next 20 months, how much data will be there? In the next 20 months, how much data will be there? Let's say I search learn SAP Commerce Cloud. I'm getting 10 links or 10 GB data. In the next 20 months, double means 20 GB data. Like that, in the internet, data is double every 20 months. Data is double every 20 months. Now, one more point is, as data is double every 20 months, people are using only around 7% of the data. This is one more nice conclusion. People are using only around 7% of the data. Does that mean remaining? Hemant, can you please be on mute? Ashwini, can you please be on mute? I just muted you for you. Does that mean remaining 93% is not useful? Remaining around 93% is not useful. Definitely it is useful, right? Useful. So that's why I'm saying it is important for us to show the results in the top list, not just in the results. Why? This is the survey. So what does that mean? Let's understand simple example here. You want to learn SAP Commerce Cloud. So if you want to learn SAP Commerce Cloud, you just type learn SAP Commerce Cloud and hit enter. So how many people really go to the 50 page and see the results? How many people will go to the really 90 page and see the results?
Very less.
Very less. Does that mean that these are not useful? These are useful. These are useful. So that's why I'm saying it is important for us to show the results. It is important for us to show the results in the top list, because in the internet data is doubled almost every 20 months. There is a huge amount of data. There is a huge amount of data. That's why we need to follow. Most of the companies follow the SEO guidelines. Follow the SEO guidelines. So we will see here there is a content catalog subject. There is a content catalog subject. There we will come back and see the SEO guidelines again. But this is a quick introduction for you. What is the SEO? What is the purpose of SEO? Because I don't want to repeat these things again during that time. So therefore, if you understand this, some companies override this behavior because of SEO purpose. So why? The reason is I told you one example here. Then why SEO is important? For that, two reasons you can tell. Okay, around 93% of the people are starting looking their products from the search engines. So that's why we need to show our products in the search results. Not only that, it is important for us to show our search results in the top list so that a customer can take your product and shop it. Customer see the product and shop it, and so on, so on. So that's it. Okay, now I said some companies override the behavior. Example, I told you OCM.com. Now, if you want to override that behavior, you can see, you can go here, you can see /p/ and search in the XML file. You will see the corresponding bean and mappings. You will see corresponding bean and mapping. Those files you need to override. Those files and methods you need to override. You can see here. So this is the one. Can you observe this one, please? So you have something called default product model URL resolver, which is having the default pattern for product pages. What is the pattern? Can you see? So this is the product page. Product page pattern is what? /p/product code, and before that I can have product name and category name or category path. That's what you can see here in this. If you observe here, this is the product code and /p. Okay, product code and /p. Before that, product name, and this is nothing but the product name. After that, whatever you have, this is called a category path. That means in which category this is available. So therefore, this is the one which is giving the default behavior for us. Now, if you go and check this bean resolver, you will see there is a lots of logic which is creating that URL pattern. So you need to override this to get the behavior. Similarly, there is a /c/category number, right? So that is also here, which is a default category model URL resolver. So that means if I go to the category, so this is the category URL, right? If you observe the category URL, so this is what you have. So category number, that is fine. And before the category number, so you can see here, please, category code, which is nothing but category number, and /c. Before that, what you have? Category path. So this is the category path. This is the category path. That is the meaning, or that is where you are getting the default behavior. Now you need to go to that particular resolver and override that methods. Override the methods, override the logic corresponding thing, so that it will not appear /c/category number behavior, /p/product number behavior. So this is how companies will do it. This is how companies will do it. That's it. Okay, next. So the next thing is that, can you please pay attention? So this is what I told. Next thing is that, now let's say, now you need to ask one question. If companies override the behavior, override the behavior, what is the behavior? /c/category number. Then what should be our next question? /c/category number or /p/category number or product number. If they override this behavior, what should be our next question?
How they are maintaining the product table.
Okay. So if company override this behavior, then how to find site is developed using SAP Commerce or not? Okay. So if company override this behavior, then how to find the site is developed using SAP Commerce or not? For that, solution 3. It is not just a question here. I'm giving lots of subject behind. Please understand this. I am connecting different subjects with this question. Okay, so I connected from the product page URL, category page URL, I connected the SEO subject. Now I am trying to go with a different subject. That's called minification. We'll see that now. So therefore, question is, if companies override the behavior, example OCM.com, then how do I find the site is developed using SAP Commerce or not? For that, solution is, okay, solution 3. So what is the solution 3? If you go to the site, let's say this is the site, right? And this is the product page. Okay, this is the product page. And if you right click inspect element, and go to the source, and if you open the files, if you find the files like this, acc.cms.com, acc.cart.cart, js, acc.code.js, if you see this kind of JS files, then it is SAP Commerce. If you see this kind of ACC means what? What is the meaning of ACC? Anyone?
Accelerator.
ACC means accelerator. So if anyone sees this kind of files, then it is SAP Commerce again. If anyone sees this kind of JavaScript files, then it is SAP Commerce. What is the solution number 3? Solution 3 is what? You can right click inspect element, RMB, right click inspect element, then go to the source. Then if you are seeing asterisk acc.js files, then it is SAP Commerce. Then it is SAP Commerce. Now let's go to the client site again. Let's go to the client site again. Let's see whether we see that behavior. So I will just go here and go to this particular category or product or whatever it may be. Okay, and click on the product. So let's say this is the product page. Okay, this is the product page. Now I will right click inspect element, go to the source, and open here. Do you see that acc.card.js, all those things?
No.
acc.card.js, acc.code.js? No. So that means you are not finding. That means some companies override this behavior to improve the performance. Okay, this is one more nice conclusion everyone should understand. It's not a matter whether you are a functional or technical, these are all important for both. I said what a default behavior. This is the default behavior. This is the OOTP behavior. Out of the box behavior. Now some companies override this behavior. Example, some companies override above behavior. For what purpose? To improve the performance. Some companies override the behavior. Example, you can see here. I said some companies override the behavior. For what purpose? For what purpose? The answer is to improve the performance. To improve the performance. What does it mean? We'll understand now. So that means most of the companies, I'm using the word called most of the companies. Most of the companies do the minification to improve the performance. So what does it mean? We'll understand. That means most of the companies do the minification to improve the performance. So if you do the minification, then you cannot see these files. Okay, we can do minification. So you need to understand each and every statement, please. We can do minification. First one. So for JavaScript, with JS minification, we can do CSS minification. And there is one more thing called image binary. But less companies will do this. Less companies do this because it requires a different way of doing the steps. But first two, so many people or most of the companies will do it, and so on, so these two, most of the companies will do it. Please understand what I am trying to say. These two, most of the companies will do it. CSS minification and the JS minification. What I'm trying to say that as per the OOTP, if you right click inspect element, then you will see acc.code.js, acc.commons.js, acc.global.js, acc.address.js. Like that, if you are seeing this kind of JavaScript files, then it is developed using SAP Commerce. But most of the companies override this behavior for what purpose? To improve the performance. So that means most of the companies do the minification to improve the performance. We can do the minification with the JS files, CSS files, and so on, so on. So if JS files minification is done, then we can't see OOTP behavior. That's the answer. We can't see OOTP behavior like this. What is the OOTP behavior? What is the OverTB behavior?
ACC dot flow files.
ACC dot asterisk dot JS. That behavior you cannot see, but it improves the performance. So we can do minification with the JS files, with the CSS files, and so on, so on. So if JS minification is done, then we cannot see this behavior, which is okay. Which is okay. Now let's understand how this minification will improve the performance. Now let's understand how this minification improves the performance. How this minification will improve the performance. Before that, we can do minification. Before that, let's understand one more point. We can do minification in many ways here. With some, we can do minification with there are so many tools. With tools. So example, you can go here. You can go to google.com and search for JS minification, best JS minification tools. There are so many. Some open source are there, some paid versions are there. You can use whatever you want. So JS minification best tools. JS minification best tools. You can see here. So there is a JS minification something. There are so many here. Uglify JS, like that you have. You can also see here. So it depends upon your company. Please remember this here. If you ask SAP, hey, which tool can I use for minification? They will not answer anything. They will tell you based on your company, you can evaluate it, you can choose it, because any minification is fine for them. Is that clear, everyone? We can do in minification with tools. We can do minification with tools. And which tool to use? You can select it based on your company decision. If you go and ask SAP, hey, can you suggest some good tool? They don't suggest, because these are all third party. Any tool is fine for them as long as you are comfortable with your organization rules and regulations. You can use any tool. I'll just put some other things here. JS compressor, something, so many are there. Okay, next one more point is, along with this, SAP Commerce also provides a minification with the grunt. SAP Commerce also provides minification with grunt. That is what we need to understand now. SAP Commerce also provides minification with the grunt, G-R-U-N-T, grunt. This is what we need to understand. So you can use these third-party tools, or SAP Commerce also provides minification with the grunt. Now let's understand how this SAP Commerce provided minification improve the performance. Now let's understand how this SAP Commerce provided minification will improve the performance. For that, let's capture the results before minification. Let's capture the results. Capture the results before minification. Let's capture the results before minification. We will capture the results after minification. So right now we are trying to understand minification with what? Minification with the grunt. Capture the results before minification. How do I capture the results before minification? So right now no minification. Right now no minification. First point is capture the results before minification. For that, I will take two things here. So you can right click inspect element. You can right click inspect element, and you can go to this network tab and just load the JS files, or let it be, and just refresh once. Once you refresh, can you observe this one, please? How many total files are loaded? How many total requests? 151.
151.
Out of that, how many JavaScripts are there? Can you observe? JavaScripts are 111. You need to capture the results to understand this. So right now, if no minification, how many JS files are loaded? How many JS files? 111 files. Okay, now I am telling one simple calculation. I'm telling one simple calculation. Assume that you can observe here, please. Each file load is taking the time. So acc.card.js, acc.items.js, each one is taking the time. So assume that for easy calculation, one file load is taking 1 second. So therefore, at this point of time, how much time is needed? 111 seconds is needed to load the JS files. So this is a rough calculation here. For easy purpose, I am just taking 1 second. It is not taking 1 second. It is taking some milliseconds. For easy calculation purpose, I am just using that number, because if it is a millisecond, we cannot calculate much now. Okay, fine. This is what we have, the number before minification. This is what we have, number before minification. Good. 111 files, and each file is taking, assume that 1 second, then 1 second is needed to load all the Java files, JavaScript files. Then the second point is, okay, second point is, I said we need to capture the results, right? I captured one result here. Now, is there any tool to capture the how much time it is taking? So, is there any tool to see results of the page performance? Is there any tool to see results of the page performance? Right now, I just captured these numbers here. With that, with these results, let me ask this question. With these results, do you know this page is loaded correctly with the performance, expected performance, not expected performance? No, right?
No.
With these numbers, with these file numbers and all, are you able to decide is the page load is good, page load is not good, page load is having bad performance? No, you cannot. So that's why second point is there any tool to see page performance? So the answer is yes, there are so many. Yes, there are so many. So one is there is a lighthouse here. We can use this. Even in the most of the companies we are using lighthouse only. But if you don't want to use lighthouse, Google provided lighthouse. You can use whatever you want here, not a matter. So I said, is there any tool to see the page performance? Yes, there are so many. We can also use Chrome provided lighthouse. If you don't want lighthouse, you can use whatever you want based on your company decision. For now, I am using lighthouse. For now, okay, we are using lighthouse. Now, if minification is not enabled or there is no minification, if no minification, let's run the analysis here. I can go here and the desktop version and performance, best practices, SEO guidelines, all these categories, I want the results. Select all these categories and run the report. Let's see how the report and how the page performance, all these things. Okay, let's see how the report, how the page performance, all these things. Page load time increases. You can see here, it is already giving. So it's almost done. Okay. Now can you see how is the page performance now? How is the page performance? Is it a green color or orange color?
Orange.
Orange color. So that means there are some improvements, right? If it is a green color, no improvements. And percentage also it is showing 79%. That means there are some improvements. What are the improvements? If you want to know, click on this. It will tell you. So it is telling that so you can see first content painting is taking this much of time. Okay, time to interact is this much of time. Okay, speed indexing, like this it is showing. So you can see this one is giving the red color. Largest content paint, it is taken 2.7 seconds. That's why it is telling that. And if you don't know what is this content painting and all, that UI team knows. You don't need to worry. As a commerce developer, you can show all these things to your company. Then if this needs to be fixed, UI team will know what is the meaning of content painting, how to reduce it, all those things. But right now, this is the results. And you can see it is also giving some suggestions. It is also giving some suggestions. It is also giving some suggestions. So therefore, is there any tool to see performance? There are so many tools. We can also use Lighthouse. So right now I am running with the report with the Lighthouse, and this is the report. And you can see, okay, we can see the improvements. Now you can ask one question here. What is the question? I said the page performance. We want to know what is the page performance, what is the page performance, what is the page performance, right? The question here is that what is the industry? What is the industry acceptable page performance here? What is the industry acceptable page performance? Let's say you are starting a new project. Assume that you are an architect or lead. Then your client will ask, hey, what is the page performance you will guarantee for us? What is the page performance you will guarantee for us? That's the question they will ask. That is one of the documentation you need to mention. This is the page performance we will guarantee for you. What is the industry acceptable page performance? What is the page performance you want? Let's say you are developing a Reliance site, you are developing a Lenovo site. What is the page performance you want? Assume that you are a Lenovo company owner. Soumit, what is the answer you want?
100%.
Huh?
100%.
No, here you need to tell the numbers. Like a 1 second, 2 second, 20 second, 30 second, like that. You want
That ways.
So like 1 second.
Yeah, the faster the possible. No?
That's what the question here is that what is the industry acceptable performance in terms of the seconds?
Less than 1 second.
Less than 1 second means you are going to do super magic. So
The
yeah,
fastest the possible.
if you are able to achieve less than 1 second, that is great here. So generally around 3 seconds is fine. Okay, so generally around 3 seconds is fine. Less than 1 second, it is very difficult here because these are the transactional sites. So if you see here, these are all transactional sites. You need to get the data, show the data, okay, and so on. But less than 1 second, if you are able to achieve, it is a, like as Soumit said, right? It is 100%. Less than 3 seconds means 90% green. More than 3 seconds means you need to talk and convince your client why it is taking more time. Because there can be some situations where it will take more time also, right? If you go to the Reliance site also, or not only Reliance site, I don't want to name there, any site, there are some pages it will take more time, yes or no? So even though that page is taking more time, client is okay. Why client is okay even though it is taking more time? Because there are reasons for it. And that reasons you can document and share it for your customer or share it for your client. That's it. But generally 3 seconds, around 3 seconds is the industry acceptable page performance. Okay. Now these are the numbers before minification. Now let's do the minification. Let's do the minification, or let's enable the SAP Commerce provided minification. Let's enable the SAP Commerce provided minification and see if that is improving the performance. Minification, and let's see. Let's enable the SAP Commerce minification and capture the results. Capture the results. Okay. One more thing you need to observe here is that before I enable, I will capture one more screenshot. So this is one screenshot, right? This is one screenshot, and this is another screenshot before results or before enable. Let me capture one more screenshot. I will go to the source. Let me open one of the JS file, accard.js. So this is the JS file. This is before minification. This is how I am seeing. Now let's say I will do the minification. Can you please observe here? Online Js Minifier. Online Js Minifier. I'm just going some online Js Minifier. Okay, I will just put this one and minify it. Now this is the online Js Minifier. I'm just using some online tool. Now tell me, can you observe this one? Okay, this is a beautiful one here. So left side is what? Before minification. Right side is what?
After minification.
After minification. Now left side is before minification. Right side is after minification. Here itself you can see whether it is improving the performance or not. This is after. So that means if you do the minification, this is the one. Now, if I don't do the minification, there are so many spaces, okay, new lines, extra characters, like that, so many are there. And what is the total file size of the file? What is the total size of the file? Before
16.23.
Yes. Now, after minification, what is the size?
7 point off of that. Yeah.
Ah, very good. Here, no spaces, no new lines, no extra characters, no special characters. Like that, everything is removed, and you can see. Now it's like this. Holding the 16 kg is easy. Holding the 7 kg is easy.
7
Let's
on
say
is
you want to take some weight. Taking 16 kg is easy for you. Taking the 7 kg is easy for you.
7-1.
7-1. So that's why that means loading this huge content will take more time. Loading this huge content takes time. And loading this content takes less time when you compare with this. So taking less time when you compare with this. This comparison is important. Now, do you see what is the meaning of minification? These are fantastic conclusions here. Okay, so like this, we captured the screenshots. Now let's enable the minification. To enable the minification, SAP Commerce is giving a flag for us. To enable minification, SAP Commerce is giving the flag for us. What is that flag? Let me show you. Go to HAC. Go to HAC. Are you guys paying attention?
Yes, Chenna.
Very good. Go to HAC, and there is a flag which you can enable if you want minification. So you can go to the platform configurations. You can go to platform configuration, then store something, you can type it. There's so many. That's nothing but WORJ. Or WROJ.
WRO4J.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now you can see you just type this WRO. So this is the flag they have given. So now if you set this flag to true, you can see this one, please. If you set this flag to true, where is that? If you say this is true, then minification is enabled. Minification enabled. If it is false, minification is not enabled. Minification not enabled. Like this, you have the flag. Now, right now, what is the value you have? Right now, what is the value we have? False. That means no minification. Now I'll make this as a true and apply. Now I make this as a true and apply. So look at this one, please. I made this as a true and apply. So that means right now minification is enabled. Right now minification is enabled. Now let's go on to observe the results. Let's go on to capture the results. Capture the stats. So that means statistics. Let's go on to capture the statistics. For statistics purpose, which tool we are using? Which tool we are using?
Lighthouse.
Okay, now I am running the same. After minification, I am just running the statistics, or I am capturing the results. Let's see whether it is really improving or not. Oh, is it improving? Can you see the numbers?
Yes.
So what was there before? Can you see? 79 is there. Now it reached to 90. Accessibility 70. That's fine. Best practices, that's fine. SEO is also improved. You can see SEO before it is 64. Now it is improved, and so on, so on. So this is why I am telling minification improve the performance. Minification improve the performance. Now, okay, minification is improving the performance. Now you can see performance 98%. Now let's go to the source. Can you please observe this one? Now I answered this one. So that means before and after, how the numbers. I answered this one. Now this performance is improved because JS minification. Now let's go to the JS and observe. Now let's go to the JS and observe. Go to the network. Okay. First, initially we captured number of files, right? How many files right now after minification? How many JS files and how many total files?
Total 62, Js 16.
So earlier these were the numbers. Now these are the numbers. Now these are the numbers. And the total files earlier 151. Now only 62. So that means what did we do here? We combined the related files and minified. We combined the so that means, let's say I have, you need to understand this one, please. Let's say I have 10 JS files, all are related to cart. Then we will combine all these things. We will combine all these and made as one. Now earlier 10 JS files, how much time it is taking? 10 seconds, right? Now it is only one JS file. If it is only one JS file, how much time it will take?
1 second.
It may be more because it is a big file, but definitely less. So it is a big file, right? You combined all the 10 files into one file. As this is the big file, maybe it will take 3 seconds, but still performance is improved, right?
Yes, sir.
3 seconds. So performance is improved. This is the meaning of minification. So therefore, because of minification, you are that's why if you open the file, let's open one of the JavaScript file now. Let's open one of the JavaScript file. So you will not have all these things, right? Just type AS something. So you can see this is all minified. You cannot understand anything. They're all minified. You cannot understand anything. So therefore, but this is a big file, right? That's why I said it may take 3 seconds instead of 1 second. Earlier, these are all the small files. It was taking 1 second, 1 second. I just giving that seconds for easy purpose, and so on, so on. So someone is not muted. Please be on mute. If you have a question, we will answer your questions. Not a problem. Vishnu Priya, can you please be on mute? I just muted for you. Okay, now let's come to the first one. What is the first one? Number of files, number of JSS. It is reduced and it is combined. That's why performance is improved. Now second one is what? These numbers with Lighthouse also I proven. Third one is what? You can see before minification, after minification. So it is having lots of content, less content. Because of that also it improved the performance, and so on, so on. So this is how minification will improve the performance. Now, where is this minification logic exist? You can see here, where is this minification logic exist? What is the flag we are using? Can you tell me? What is the flag we are using? This is the flag we are using to control. I'm showing the code now. Now let's see the code. Let's see the code written for minification enable. Minification enable. So how to find the code? We know that if I make this as a true, then this is activated. If I make this as a false, then no minification. So that means this flag is controlling everything. So I will take this flag and go to the here and search in the Java files first. So what is the first step? Number one, take the flag and search in Java files. Okay, I'm searching. You can see it is available in 4 places. That which one shall I consider for current scenario? Can you tell me? So it is there in 4 places. Shall I consider Y B2B?
No, first one.
Shall I consider Y? No. Why no? Because right now I am accelerator storefront. So that means first one only you can consider. So now I will open this. So this is the kind of a comment. We can ignore it, and you can see. So this is where they are capturing the results. So that means whatever you set the value, whether you are setting true, whether you are setting false, that you are capturing into this particular variable. So that means if you see this one, okay, let me try to explain this logic. You have to remember because this we will use a lot. So this is the property we are using as it is, and we are getting that entire value. So so for that we are using get site configuration dot get boolean of that particular property, and we are converting into boolean and storing in this variable. Storing in this variable. So that means if you enter true, then what is this variable? If you enter true here, what is the variable? True. If you enter false here, then what the variable contains? False.
False.
Now, what is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one is, let's say you did not enter anything. You did not enter anything. If you don't enter anything, then this value will be kept in this variable. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Sure.
So that means if you don't enter anything here, that means you made it as empty. If you made it as empty, sometimes it will throw errors, all these things. To avoid this, they are setting a default value. So if you make this as a empty, then this value, okay, if at all you are making this as empty, then this value will be considered and keeping in this variable. That's how you have the logic and the variable. That's how you have the logic and variable. Now this variable you can check in the, so this is the variable. Please pay attention. So this is the variable. Then step number 2, search that variable in the JSP, in the UI, because this is the UI related, right? UI minification, right? Search in the JSP or a tag file. Okay, search this variable in asterisk.jsp or asterisk.tag file. That's where you have the UI logic. So this is the UI logic. This is the UI logic. Search that variable. This is the asterisk.java file. Search the flag. So what is the flag? This was the flag. Sorry. Search this flag. This is how we need to find the existing code here. Okay, search the flag in the Java file. After that, you will come to know what is the logic. Then that variable you can search in the UI. Again, you can see here, this is available in two extensions. Which extension shall I focus? YB2B or Y accelerator? Y accelerator, because that is what we are using right now. So therefore, I will go to the Y accelerator. Now you can see. So if enabled, can you please observe here? If enabled, that means if it is true. If it is true, you can go to this JavaScript file and check. You can go to that JavaScript file and check. Okay, so these are the JavaScript files, right? So that's why you can see in the output also, when you right click inspected element, did you observe here source? You can see that JavaScript files are there. All responsive JS, all responsive JS. So that means you are combining all those things and putting into this variable. And there is a add-ons JS. Let me show you add-ons JS also. Yeah, you can see add-ons underscore responsive JS. So that means all the JSs you are combining and putting into one JS. All the JSs you are combining and putting into one JS. So this is if it is true. Otherwise means false. False means put all the JS files as it is. Put all the JS files as it is. That's where before you are able to see the JS files. Is that clear logic? Is that clear, everyone? Logic. If it is true,
Yes.
then you are combining all those things and putting into these two. These names, if you want to change it, you can change it here. If no, then display the files as it is. If no, display the files as it is. This is how the logic is written here. This is how the logic is written here. Next. Next, one more point you need to understand is, okay, you can go to this extension Y accelerator storefront. This is what we are using right now. You can go here. You can go to the web. You can go to the web. You can see there is a grunt file.js. This is the one which is doing that magic. This is the one which is doing that magic. So you can see here. Can you please observe here? It is taking all the JS files. Where are the JS files? Can you see? Where are the JS files? Webroot, webinf, webinf. Inside the webinf underscore src. Underscore src. You can see there are so many. These are no, not this one. Sorry. So this is the one, right? Where is that JavaScript? JavaScript. These are the less files. These are the fonts. Yeah, these are the JS files. You can see JS files. What is the location of the JS file? Webroot, webinf. After that underscore src, responsive. In the responsive lib. In the lib, y base something. Then after that JS. Now you see there are so many JSs. Take all the JSs. Take all these JSs and put into one JavaScript file. That's the meaning. Okay, similarly, if there are any jQuery starting, all the jQuery starting, combine and put into one thing. Similarly, CSS files also, you can see it is also taking the CSS files. Less files are nothing but the CSS files, and to combine it and do these things. That's where you have the grunt logic mentioned, and that grunt, if you want to change the locations and all, you can come and change here. So this is how the complete logic is maintained for the grant, and that is why you have this particular performance improvements if you enable true or false. Now I'll stop here and you can ask questions if any. Otherwise, I will ask some more questions on this.
This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry for that. Okay. So the next thing is that what, as I said, some companies override the /c/ category number /p/ product number. Then how to find out? Then we came to the solution 3. Solution 3 is also most of the companies override it to improve the performance, and we have shown you how to improve, how that minification will improve the performance. Then what to do? How do I find the site is developed using SAP Commerce or not? You can also go with the built with, right? You can also go with the built with and give the site name here. Okay, and look for the technologies. Okay. Okay, look for the technologies. This is another way. If this is also not giving the correct results, or this is also not giving the expected results for you, then we need to learn some more subject to decide it. That's it. Now let's come back here, please. One important thing you need to understand now. This is very important here. These properties and all don't apply only for this specific scenario. You need to start applying this properties concept in a generic way. What does it mean? Let's understand. Okay, so I will go to the configurations again. So this is one of the configuration, and by default value was what? Okay, let me ask this question. Enabling the minification, let me put this way, enabling the minification is improve the performance?
Yes.
Improve the performance, yes. If yes, then why SAP enabling the minification
Default
improve
false.
the performance? Answer is yes. Now the question what I am trying to ask, the point what we need to understand here is that if yes, why SAP Commerce by default made it as true, and given that functionality, instead of asking as to enable or disable. So the point what we are trying to understand is that anyway that is giving minification is giving excellent results, right? Then what the point of asking us to enable disable? Why they have given that flag? What is the reason behind giving this kind of flag? Please understand this question. Minification anyway definitely improving the performance. We have seen it. Then what is the reason behind SAP given enable disable? Why can't they give by default?
Readability.
Readability. What is readability?
When we minify the JS file, it trunk the white spaces.
Okay.
Size.
Okay.
We
But
have seen OTB as ACC files.
what is that, Ravi? Shankar.
Size.
Size. Okay.
It is like if you're combining all the JS files.
Yeah. Let's come here, please. So the point
OTB
what I'm
is
trying to
ACC
say that,
files.
yeah. The point what I'm trying to say that enabling the minification definitely improve the performance, and it is proven, and I shown the statistics. If it is that great, why SAP Commerce by default made it as true and given that functionality instead of asking us to enable disabled? So what could be the reason? What could be the reason this functionality given based on the flag? So the reason is
This conference will now be recorded.
so the question is, what could be the reason? What could be the reason this functionality is given based on the flag? So if no flag and given minification by default, if no flag given minification by default, then the problem is if no flag and given minification by default, then the challenge, I'll just say challenge. It's not a error like that here. The challenge is you cannot debug the JavaScripts. You can't debug the JavaScript files. So the reason what I'm trying to say that right now minification enabled, right? Now assume that some JavaScript is not working. Assume that some JavaScript is not working. If JavaScript is not working, okay, right now it is true. Let me make it as true. Let's say they have not given the flag and given the minification by default. If they are given the minification by default, then let's say I go here and open this. Where do I put the breakpoint? Where do I put the breakpoint? Let's say this is the one. So you can see I cannot put the breakpoint. I cannot debug it. So we can't debug the JS files. Now assume that some JavaScript is not working. So today I am having this. It is giving the performance and all. Tomorrow someone complained saying that, hey, add to cart is not working, some JavaScript error. Then what I will do? For time being, I'll just come here and make it as a false. For time being, I just come here, make it as a false, and I will go to the UI and I will put the breakpoint wherever I want and debug the code. And I'll put the breakpoint wherever I want and debug the code. To give that kind of flexibility, we have this flag given, or this entire functionality is given based on that flag true false. This entire functionality is given based on that true flag false, because sometimes some JavaScript errors will be there, some add to cart is not working, some JavaScript is not working, then you need to debug it as a developer. So if minification is given without flag and you cannot debug, right, where you go and put the breakpoint. So right now there is no minification. That's why I can come here, debug it, find out what is the problem and fix it. After fixing, again I can come here and make this as a true. Make this as a true for performance purpose and continue. Make this as a true for performance purpose and continue. This is how it works in the real time. This is how it works in the real time. Now, did you understand what is the importance of this flag? Now,
Yes,
did
sir.
you understand what is the importance of this flag?
Yes, Chenna.
The flag, you can see how much flexibility it is giving. So let's say today production system here. Production system, you made it as a true. Okay, after 5 days. So today production system, that flag is true. That is for performance purpose. After 5 days, suddenly add to cart is not working, some reason, some JS errors. Then how do you debug it? Then you can just come here and make this as a false so that you get the JavaScript files as it is. So that you get the JavaScript files as it is. Now I need to refresh it once. So that you will get the JavaScript files as it is. Now put the breakpoint, debug it, fix the issue. After fixing the issue, now again performance is important for you. Make this as a true. Make this as a true. So this is how it works in the real time. So this is what about the entire conclusions. Now let's recap the today's session once, please. Let's say you are working. So let's say you are saying I am working for Nike client or Reliance client, and my site is live. Then based on the site URL, we can find out whether it is developed using SAP Commerce or not. So solution one is /c/category number /c/category name /p/product number /p/product name. This is the solution to. Some companies override that behavior for SEO purpose. Why they will override for SEO purpose? and what the importance of SEO purpose, why SEO is important we have seen, and how to override. I shown you the logic of that XML files and corresponding Java files and so on, so if it is override, then what to do? Then we can also find out from the JS files. Okay, some companies override this behavior for improving the performance purpose. We can improve the performance by doing the JS minification, CSS minification and all. And if you do the JS minification, then you cannot find this kind of files. And I shown you the logic. For minification, we can use third-party tools, or we can also use SAP Commerce Provider Grunt. Now let's understand SAP Commerce Provider Grunt. And before minification, we have captured the statistics. And after minification, we have seen how it is improving the performance. And finally, we have seen how that grunt logic is driven with this flag. Based on the flag, how that minification is implemented, we have seen. And finally, we understand what could be the reason given that flag. So anyway, minification is improving the performance. Why it is not given directly? Why that entire logic is driven with this flag? The reason is to debug purpose. We should have a flexibility to see the JavaScript files for debug purpose, not readability purpose. What is the reason? We don't have any reason to go and read it. We only read it when there is a debug required. Obviously, as a debug is required, so you can turn off and come here, debug it, then again turn off for performance purpose. That's all for today. We'll continue tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. If you want to listen to other questions, you can wait. Else, you can continue with your regular activity.